about Nigeria from the US. And I just want to, I'm sure Femi Adesina must have heard this report about this report because he's the one who is always saying who made the US the policeman of the world. And since he made that comment, and we've been seeing a lot of things, of course, I just believed he was trying to play to the gallery just to save their face from all the backlash from people and with all that they have done. And for some time now, when this issue of Aso Rock and the NSA and Abakari, we've not heard anything from them, both himself and Gaba Shehu. And honestly, I'm sure they are preparing reports, they are preparing a lot of things to tell Nigerians. But guess what? Before they will bring any form of things or they will try to defend the president or defend the presidency, Nigerians already know what they are going to be saying, and it's not going to be selling, in my opinion, because definitely they are always coming on the defense of on the side of the defense. And meanwhile, the United States has released another report, detailed report on Nigeria, accusing the government at all levels of injustice, brutality, and inflicting pain on poor Nigerians. The report, which was released by the United States Department of State, accused the Nigeria Police, DSS, and the military of gross abuse of power, which includes citizens' brutality, arbitrary detention, bribery, among other scandals. It also revealed that 69% of the persons in prison across the country are awaiting trial, blaming the situation on lack of judicial capacity and corruption, while explaining that the insurgency in the northeast has rendered many hopeless. U.S. accused of Boko militants of committing pogrom in which more than 20,000 people have been killed and maimed with permanent injury. I'm sure when Adesina hears this, he will say, but they are not in the country. How would they know that they cannot know the country better than the people who are dwelling in the country? And they've forgotten that they have their embassy. And come to think of it, the world is a global village. You can know whatever you want to know. And not to talk of the US, I think it's trying to deceive some people or to try to deceive themselves or try to save themselves from every form of shame. I think that's why they're always coming on that defense. With all of these reports, it is not new. These reports are not really new to Nigerians. We know that these are the things that have been happening. Before you know it now, they will start calling Khan, that it is Khan that is doing all of those things, trying to project the country in a bad light. They will start calling PDP because the PDP, they believe they are always protesting, going to all those embassies and what have you. And those are the things that are happening now. Those are the things that are happening. And the worst thing there is that we are not seeing any move that they really want to change anything. We are not seeing that move. We are not seeing that preparedness. We are not seeing that zeal that this government is even ready to do anything. You can imagine that even the Senate, one of them is preparing, one of the senators or the lawmakers preparing or trying to sponsoring a bill that these Boko people and what have you should be giving some kind of this. They want to make it, a law. Before now they've been releasing them, sending them into the community, giving them jobs by recruiting them into the army. Now they want to make it a legal thing that they have to be doing it. Who does that? Who does that? Where does that happen to make it a law? So that means they are telling us that this country is already a terrorist country. US, for them to have brought this report out shows that they are going somewhere. They are going somewhere because these are the things that they have observed over the time, and they are going somewhere. And before you know it, all of these things that we are even seeing before now, all this visa ban and what have you, it will get to a stage, they were going to roll out the real restriction, even they themselves thinking that they have a diplomatic passport, that it will take them anywhere. At least most of them, at some point, they will be leaving the government, and I will see how it's not going to affect them. I will see how it's not going to affect them because they believe that they know everything. And from all of these things that even Nnamdi Kanu has been saying, they are playing out now. Because how can you say you want to make this a law, that you have an agency that will be recruiting or rehabilitating, de-radicalizing or whatever, and whatever, giving them a special place in the law? Can you imagine that? Giving these people who are taking people's life, giving them a special whatever in the law. Then what happens? Like I said in one of my videos, that what happens to those who go there and steal food because they are hungry? What of those who steal cell phone? Those who snatch bags on the road? What will happen to them? So that means everybody should just rehabilitate everybody, and that means there shouldn't be any prison in this country again. And with all these reports, of course, like what they have listed, have stated, they are not new to us in Nigeria. But those people who are on the side of the government, of course, it will make no sense to them. It will make no meaning to them. I see no reason why people who have eyes, they will not see. They will have ears, they are not hearing. It's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate where we have found ourselves, because before now we thought it was bad. But now, if there's anything that is even more than worse, I think that should be the right word to use, because as we speak, there's no how will I put it, there's no there's no zeal, or there's no preparation that you see that okay, they are really working towards something. Most especially what happened recently, that both men at the cabal level, the NSA accusing the chief of staff. It's a grievous thing that even Nigerians are supposed to come out in their numbers and say, no, this will not happen. But what do we see? People will still water the whole thing down. I don't know what is happening. Oh. I don't just know what is really happening to us. I don't just know. And again, from their report, they says the most serious human rights abuses included those committed by Boko Haram, which conducted numerous attacks on government and civilian targets that resulted in thousands of deaths and injuries, widespread destruction, the internal displacement of an estimated 1.8 million persons, and the external displacement of 220,000 Nigerian refugees to neighboring countries, the report said. It pointed out in response to Boko Haram violent attacks and at times to crime and insecurity in general, security services perpetrated extrajudicial killings and engaged in torture, rape, arbitrary detention, mistreatment of detainees, and destruction of property. The country also suffered from widespread societal unrest, including ethnic, religion, and religious violence. Other serious human rights problems included vigilante killings, prolonged pretrial detention, often in facilities with poor conditions, denial of fair public trial, executive influence on the judiciary, infringement of citizens' privacy rights, and restrictions on freedom of speech, press, assembly, and movement. There were reports during the year of official corruption, violence against women and children, including female genital mutilation, cutting, infanticide, sexual exploitation of children, trafficking in persons, early and forced marriages, discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, discrimination based on ethnicity, religion, regional origin, religion and disability, forced and bonded labor, and child labor. The report pointed out that impunity remained widespread at all levels of government, saying although President Buhari's administration began initial steps to curb corruption, authorities did not investigate or punish the majority of cases of police or military abuse. Boko Haram perpetrated numerous attacks, often directly targeting civilians. The group, which recruited and forcefully conscripted child soldiers, carried out bombings, including suicide bombings and attacks on population centers in Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Kano, Plateau, and Yobe states. In some cases, the group employed women and children as suicide bombers. The government investigated these attacks but prosecuted only a few members of Boko Haram. You see the report. You see the report. They are not just making it up. It is what you and I understand. It is what we know already. It is what we do understand. It is not, before you know it, they will tell you Buhari is fighting corruption. He's fighting corruption. And because the US is not having opportunity to steal, or US government did not get enough votes, they didn't vote for them. So that is why they are pained. That is why they are hurt, because they don't have electoral value. Those are the things they are going to be saying. Or better still, Femi Adesina will come and tell us, oh, Yes, who made him the policeman of the world, because that is their language. Oh, we are a sovereign country. We don't need them to tell us what is happening. We know what is happening in our country and what have you. I remember some days ago why this the man, this Christian Gigi was telling the U.S. ambassador that, oh, they don't have a that Nigeria is not comfortable for people to reside. I don't even know who is referring to, telling them to come and help us to upgrade our education system. You know, that's to tell you that I don't just understand. When it comes to, you know, the level of corruption, they are very, very smart. That is the only thing they get right. They get right. Not even we, they not them, because not them. You see, from among them, you hear stealing of billions. You can't hear from the masses now, because the masses are not they are not in charge of, or they are not close to the cookie jar. So they are the ones who close to the cookie jar. So they are the ones who are very smart when it comes to that level. So see reports. I understand, just like I said, you and I know quite well that these things are not just being made up. It is what we know, we see, we experience on a daily basis. How do you justify a situation whereby someone will be proposing, a lawmaker will be proposing that Boko people should be given some kind of whatever in our constitution to make it a law? But let us see whether they will be so bold enough to continue, let it pass first and second reading, or whether third reading to the last reading, and let them come and pass it. Let us see. Someone says, failing to include Fulani Hesme militias makes your report incomplete, though still commendable. That's what somebody said there. Another one is still saying the same thing. You fail to mention killer Hesme that are killing, raping women, and doing all manner of things. Someone says, please let Lai Mohammed urgently deny these allegations, calling a press conference. Of course, that is what is going to happen very quickly. So, guys, let us hear your opinion. What do you think will come out of this whole thing? What do you think they are trying to do? Don't you think that there will be more sanctions? They are trying to just prepare their mind so that it won't be as if they are just trying to put a restriction or a ban or whatever on them. They are just trying to play their report for them. These are the things that they have gathered. So very soon now, like somebody said, let Mohammed, hold a press conference and begin to debunk it and say, no, it is not like that, it's not like that. But the more they come out, the more they are embarrassing themselves. So guys, let us hear your opinion on this. Thank